Welcome back for another deep dive, and this time we're doing something a little different. We're diving into fiction this time.
Okay.
With an episode of the Shadow and Enigma Hunters podcast that you shared with us.
Mysteries, strange encounters, all that good stuff. A healthy dose of the unexplained.
Definitely.
This podcast, it's more than just spooky stories, right? This episode we'll be unpacking today really skillfully uses fiction to explore our own relationship with the unknown.
And you're in the right place if those lines between reality and the what-ifs tend to blur for you.
Yeah.
Today we'll be dissecting the story of Elias and that unsettling train ride.
Right.
Searching for deeper meanings hidden within the narrative.
Every detail, from the flickering lights to the stranger's words, offers a piece of the puzzle.
So the story begins with Elias on a dreary train ride home from work. You get this sense of weariness already, almost like he's drifting through life on autopilot.
Right.
Does that feeling of stagnation resonate with you at all? We've all been there, right?
Yeah, and it's in that moment of vulnerability, when his routine is disrupted, that he encounters the stranger.
Right.
And what's interesting is that it's not just the stranger's sudden appearance, but the feeling that he somehow knows Elias. Like his anxieties, regrets, those secret thoughts we all have.
Exactly. It's like that fear we've all felt at some point, the idea that we're not fully in control of our own lives.
Yeah.
That someone or something might be peering into our innermost selves.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It sends chills down your spine just thinking about it. But it's also what makes this story so captivating.
Right, that underlying tension just hooks you from the start. And as if the stranger wasn't unsettling enough, the train itself begins to mirror Elias's growing unease.
Oh, really?
The lights flicker, the car jolts are these physical manifestations of a shift in reality, or simply Elias's mental state unraveling.
No.
The story keeps us guessing.
Yeah, and the stranger's words are like riddles wrapped in enigmas.
Right.
He starts dropping these cryptic hints about alternate realities, paths not taken, almost as if he's trying to nudge Elias and us as listeners into questioning our own perceptions.
Oh, interesting.
Have you ever had a moment where you questioned the nature of your own reality?
The stranger even goes so far as to ask Elias, have you ever considered that you might be living in a dream?
Oh, wow.
It's a question designed to make us squirm in our seats, to make us doubt the very foundation of what we believe to be true.
This is where it gets really interesting, at least for me.
Okay.
You know how much I love a good mind-bending concept?
Yeah.
Thinking about it practically gives me an existential crisis.
Right.
But the story does it in a way that feels safe, almost inviting us to explore these what-if scenarios within the confines of fiction.
Exactly. And we can't forget the symbolism woven throughout the story.
Yeah.
Take the train, for example, a classic literary device.
Okay.
It's not just taking Elias home. It symbolizes a journey of self-discovery, a transition into the unknown.
Interesting.
Each jolt and turn of the train could represent those unexpected twists and turns life throws our way. What do you think? Does that symbolism resonate with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about the fact that the stranger remains nameless? To me, that just adds another layer of intrigue, don't you think?
It's a brilliant move by the creators. This nameless entity represents the vast, unknowable forces that shape our lives. These things we can't control, can't predict. That's what makes the unknown both terrifying and alluring at the same time.
It's like dipping your toes into those possibilities.
Yeah.
The what-ifs that keep us up at night.
Yeah.
But the symbolism doesn't stop there.
Right.
The podcast mentions others who've encountered these mysterious figures on trains too. These so-called guides that appear during moments of uncertainty or crisis.
Interesting.
There's a whole hidden network operating just beneath the surface of our everyday reality.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
It makes you think about that human desire to believe in something more,
Right.
something that connects us to a larger mystery. Whether these encounters are real or supernatural or just products of our imagination, the fact that we find them so compelling, that says something about how we try to make sense of the unknown.
It really does.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what if we're not meant to fully understand? What if the not knowing is part of the allure?
Right.
But before we spiral down that rabbit hole too far,
Yeah.
let's talk about the impact this encounter has on Elias.
Okay.
Because it's not just the stranger's words that linger.
Right.
He's left with this unsettling feeling,
Yeah.
a sense that something fundamental has shifted within him.
The encounter is like a crack in his reality, and he can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Suddenly, he's hyper-aware of everything around him.
Oh, wow.
A déjà vu. Shadow is playing tricks on his eyes, almost like he's questioning his own perception.
You should.
Have you ever felt that way, even if it wasn't after meeting a stranger on a train?
Totally.
That feeling of unease, like something is slightly off?
It's like the world becomes both familiar and strange at the same time.
Right.
But this is where the story takes an even more fascinating turn.
Okay.
Remember that eerie ending? Elias receives that cryptic text message,
Yeah.
seemingly from the stranger,
Oh, wow.
asking if he's ready to board the train again.
Wow.
And just when you think it can't get any weirder, he looks out his window, and there it is.
No way.
The train waiting for him.
A classic cliffhanger.
I know.
And it's a masterful move by the creators.
Right.
By leaving the ending unresolved, they force Elias and us as listeners to make a choice. Cling to the familiar or take a leap into the unknown.
And the fact that there's no right answer makes it even more intriguing.
It really does.
Some people might hear that ending and think, nope, Elias needs to steer clear of that train.
Right.
What would your gut instinct be? Would you be tempted to see where that train might lead?
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The rational part of our brain screams danger, but there's that other part.
Right.
The part that craves adventure and mystery that can't help but be drawn in.
It's like watching a scary movie.
Right.
You're both terrified and unable to look away.
Exactly.
But beyond the suspense, the story also makes us think about those what-if scenarios in our own lives.
Yeah.
What if we embraced a little more uncertainty
Right.
instead of always choosing the safe path? Could that lead to unexpected growth and self-discovery?
The story highlights how these fictional narratives, even when they're rooted in the fantastical, can reveal deeper truths about our own desires and anxieties.
Yeah,
It's like holding a mirror up to our subconscious,
for sure.
prompting us to ask ourselves the questions we often avoid.
It's like that age-old dilemma, right? Play it safe and wonder what if, or take the risk and see what happens.
It really is.
It makes you think about the paths we choose in our own lives.
It does. And that's the beauty of this story, you know? It makes us ask those bigger questions without offering any easy answers.
Yeah,
It forces us to look at our own relationship with the unknown,
for sure.
even the parts that make us uncomfortable.
It's like that saying, the unexamined life is not worth living.
Right.
Sometimes you need a little shake-up
Yeah.
to really discover who you are. But what about you? What's resonating most strongly with you as you listen to us unpack all of this?
Well, maybe this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for storytelling. Even in a fictional world, these stories can offer insights into our own lives, you know, our fears, our desires.
Yeah.
They remind us that it's okay to embrace the mystery,
Right.
to be uncertain, and to keep asking those questions.
To stay curious. It's like we're always looking for those answers, but maybe the real magic is in the journey itself.
Exactly. And sometimes that journey leads us to face parts of ourselves we've been avoiding.
Wow.
Maybe it even helps us to hop on board that train, so to speak,
Yeah.
to see where those unexpected turns might take us.
To embrace the unknown, even when it feels a bit unsettling.
Right.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that very thought.
That's a good one.
This deep dive was just the beginning, right? What will you discover next as you keep exploring the mysteries that make life so interesting? Until next time, keep questioning, keep diving deep, and most importantly, keep listening.